What is up, YouTube? I'm back again. Boat worked, made it around the lake, had a couple issues that came up, but that's what a shakedown run is for, I think. Just like everything else, this was running. I bought it running in the driveway, get it out on the water, put it under load, and everything kind of changes a little bit. So a couple things I had to fix. Last video, I went through and fixed all the trim stuff before I put this in the water because I have zero boating experience. So that was a huge learning curve. Went to the store 3 times grabbing like miscellaneous odds and ends. We got all the life jackets and the ropes, and a buddy of ours hooked us up with some fenders and things like that for parking. Had to grab some ropes, all that other stuff. I'm sure I'm missing a million other things too. But I ended the last video yesterday going over just general stuff. The trailer lights that were in here worked, but they were kind of intermittent, so I ended up just replacing all of these with enclosed LEDs. Got all those done last night. I was hoping to start on some of the motor stuff, but figured I'd get the trailer done first. Tonight, I'm gonna pop the doghouse up and show you guys what's broken, and then we'll start messing around with that. So, other than that, trailer's good. Trim is good. Now we're on to the internals of the motor. Motor runs like a top, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna throw some fresh plugs and wires on here, just do a quick tune-up as a preemptive maintenance, because I don't know how long this thing's been sitting. The guy we got it from had it for 17 years in the family. They used it a couple times this summer, but I don't know how long it's been sitting. And I'd really like to see what the plugs look like, because I didn't go through and do a compression check or anything like that. I would recommend doing that if you're buying a used boat, especially a knot runner, or if you want to project something, but I'm not a boat guy. I don't really know. I was looking for something that I knew ran and I needed to hear it run. So all of the, oh, it just needs a battery, or it winterized still, haven't unwinterized. They might not be lying, but I don't trust anybody and I don't trust the internet. So let's jump up there. I'll bring you guys up. We'll pop this up. I got the seats already disconnected, so flip this guy up, and then we'll get into the little 4-banger. I did want a bigger motor. I didn't want a little 4-banger. However, I started thinking about it. 1, it's our first boat. 2, I don't know if I even like boating. And 3, gas is not getting any cheaper. So a little 4-banger should be fine. Here's what we're working with. It's a 3-liter LX. It's got it, I mean, honestly, runs like a top. I have no complaints about anything on here. Not necessarily the cleanest thing in the world. There's a little bit of oil misting and a couple leaks here and there, but not terrible. Had it out yesterday. Didn't overheat, which was a big concern of mine. Did not stutter or stall out at all. Runs perfectly smooth through the RPM range. So overall, I think I did all right. Coolant's good, everything else is good. But the couple issues I had was actually on the exhaust. And for me, this is new, but boats are cooled by the lake or water that you're in. So exhaust manifold was fine here through this pipe, but down at the bottom, there's a little reducer coupler. I got a little bit of a leak coming at the bottom of this coupler down here. So I'm gonna take apart this tube section, get this off, and then figure out which part I need to order for the lower, because I've seen a bunch of different ones. There's like a 4-inch to 3-inch reducer. There's a 3-inch reducer. There's the upper 4-inch. So this is a solid, same size on both sides. I think this is the reducer one, and I don't know if it's a 3-inch to a 3-inch or if it's a 4-inch to a 3-inch. Either way, this is the one that's leaking. So I'm gonna yank this apart, give this a full inspection. I'm gonna try and do it without pulling the J-pipe off. I don't know how much room there is. If I have to pull this, then I'm gonna have to get a gasket for this, and then we'll slap it all back together. But essentially, the exhaust component past the manifold needs to come off, and we will figure out where that leak is coming from, or why that leak is coming. Like I said, it is down here where this mounts to the lower, and from there, I think it goes out the back of the boat. This is me learning with you guys, and hopefully this benefits somebody, because I know they made a million of these little 3-banger or 3-liter 4-bangers. So let me get some tools out. I'll start taking some of the couplings off first. I'm gonna try and avoid taking the J-pipe off if I gotta take it off. it happens. But it's rubber mount here, rubber mount down here. We'll see how stuck these are. In order to get to these, the hose clamps that are on this right now, the connector part is on the back side. So if we come down here, they're both, all four of them line up on the inside. So I pulled the little access panel here. Got a long extension, electric ratchet. We'll try and free these up. Got the upper ones free. Now all of the clamps on this upper are loose and ready to come off. I can't get to the lower ones until I pull the battery, so we're just gonna pull this real quick, disconnect it, shift them over, and then we'll start trying to mess around with the lower, because the lower is the leaking one. I'm hoping this is still good even after we take it off. Time will tell when we yank the battery. All right, with the battery out, we have way more room in here. So now I can get to these. One of these is an extra clamp that I put on. I do want to pop the lower off. One, to make sure that it's still good. Two, I don't know. I did throw one more clamp on, but we were on the side of the, or on the water when I did that. So I want to double check this lower unit section. So we'll loosen all these up. The leak is coming from the bottom of this rubber piece. So I don't know if it's just got corrosion behind it or it's not tight enough. I tried snugging all these up. Didn't work so well. There are 4 clamps, so I don't know if it's rotted out or that's what we're looking to figure out. We'll be back when I get these clamps off. All right, clamps are all loose. I'm gonna separate them a little bit, spray some lube around the rubbers. Hopefully that helps me slip fit these off, and I'm hoping, being rubber on rubber, I can get the bottom one to come down and the lower one to come up, or vice versa. Figure out a way to finagle out the actual cast aluminum center section. We'll see what happens. I wish I could film more of this. I could flip this up and pull this panel, and that would give me way more room to work. However, we're gonna try it the hard way first. If I start fighting myself a ton, then this is coming out. But it's floating on the bottom. I mean, crap, is it really just, yeah, 2 Phillips screws? We'll see. I'm gonna try it without. If this gets annoying, then this is getting flipped up, and we're working on it that way with a ton of space. It's been 30 seconds, and I decided it's gonna be way easier if I pull that cover off. So take out these 2 Phillips screws, pull it up, then we'll have lots of space. I lied, it's not 2 screws. 2 upper, 2 lower, so it's 4. So I'll yank these 2 out, then this whole panel will come out, and I got plenty of room to kind of climb in there. Look at all of this room for activities. So now, here's the clamp up top. This one is good, this one was sealing. It's this lower one. I need to figure out if there's a crack in this lower boot, or if there's too much corrosion on the pipe section. That's what we're looking at. So, separate the top one first. Ideally, if I can spray some stuff up here, try and get it free, and then we'll see if we can wrestle out that center section. Don't want to pull this manifold part off if it's avoidable, because then I got to get gaskets and all sorts of other crap. Let's see how this goes. All right, so I have you guys right next to me. There's a very good chance you're going to fall over several times today. Deal with it. But we're going to try and lube up the rubber around these spots. If you care about keeping all your paint black, this is not the best bet. But there might be some water in here still. I don't know if it's PB Blaster or water. We'll figure that part out later. It doesn't matter, it's the exhaust. Hopefully. It is feeling pretty free, and these are not crazy dry rotted or anything, so maybe we'll get lucky. Told you were gonna fall over. All right, I gotta wrestle around with these. There's not a lot of space in here, so we'll come back after I get this separated one way or another. If anything super crappy comes up, I'll turn this back around. For the lower, all of the hose clamps fell down to the bottom, so I've been taking these off one at a time. I'm just undoing them all the way. Plenty of meat, plenty of room to get those back on. It's not a crazy tight fit. So we got 2 left to loosen up. Take these all the way off, and then I'm gonna try and snake out this lower coupler. One, and the last one. This is the one I threw on the other day on the water. Way too long. Will not be going back on since I do have all 4. Now, I do have the upper free. I just pulled this all the way down. So we are wide open on the bottom. This is connected to the middle flange pipe, which is what I need to figure out is going to come off. So I'm going to jam a screwdriver down here. On the inside, everything is covered in PB Blaster, so it's nice and loose. On the top side, now I got to see if I can get this to go down far enough. And if I'm doing this absolutely wrong, that's expected because I've never worked on a boat before. But we're also trying to free this up without taking the pipe off because that involves a gasket. It's rubber. It's not hardened or dry rotted or cracked. So there we go. Not the most graceful way of doing that, but this is the lower that was leaking. We are looking okay on this top side. I was expecting a bunch of corrosion. We got a scratch there, but that's fine. The couplers are going to finish that. So this section is good. The upper is also good. No crazy rusted, corroded, falling apart pieces. Obviously, this is sitting a little bit lower than it's supposed to right now because we slid it down. So now I got to figure out this. I don't know, maybe... I don't know. I'm going to yank this one off because this is the one that was leaking. Then we'll do a closer inspection. Just like that, comes right off. I don't know if there's supposed to be a flapper in here or something, but it came off this way. This is where it was leaking. This one is not in the best of shape. Not the worst, but there is a big chunk missing right here where this is worn away, which is pretty much exactly where that was. On the body, yeah. I don't know if there's supposed to be a flapper in there. I feel like this is the flapper. That's not there anymore. Let me phone a friend because I got a buddy that works at a boat dealer / service area. Let me call a friend. If you guys know in the comments, also let me know because I like learning things. This is all new. It is an adventure. Somebody fill me in because I have no clue what I'm doing or looking at. So tried phoning a friend, not answering, which is fine. But we have a 3244348. This is the upper. Obviously it looks all sorts of mangled here. This is a genuine coupler. That should be a 4-inch diameter on the upper pipe. The bottom one is the one that I need, which is a 3-inch that I tried ordering. And I ordered the 4-inch one that I don't actually need. So this is the one I need. Top side actually looks okay. I mean, it's got some wear and use for sure, but the bottom side, I can wipe some of the crap off of this and then it turns back to the rubber, but there's definitely some major wear right here, which I'm pretty sure is where it was sitting when the leak happened. So I think we just need a rubber boot, and it's boat things. I want to just go to the hardware store and buy a 3-inch piece of rubber connector for like PVC pipe. But we just got this, so I think I'm going to try and do it the right way. Look up parts. If it's like $150 for this, obviously, we're going to go a different route because that's ridiculous. But that should be the problem. I got some other stuff to do today. The volt gauge on this is broken, so the needle fell off. The gauge might still work, but the needle's gone. Instead of that, I don't have a cigarette lighter or a charger port on here, which we're gonna need. So instead of putting a new gauge in and messing up the stock cluster, I might be able to get the gauge. If I can get the gauge and it's reasonable, I'll replace it and switch that. But I do want to still put an auxiliary power port. It's 2023. We have all the options in the world. So on Amazon, you can get take your cigarette lighter, 12 volt. There is a plug-in volt gauge that goes right into the cigarette lighter with a dual USB out for $14, $13. We're gonna give that a shot. I know it's Chinese crap. If it works for a month, cool. I don't mind spending a couple bucks on those. I do want to put a regular gauge in too, but that's kind of where we're at now. I need to try and find this part. I'm gonna look around on the interwebs and see if I can find something readily available that'll get here quick before the weekend, because holiday weekend coming up, and I'm a boater now, so we're not doing Harley things. We're going to take this out and try and soak up as much of this as possible while it's still semi-nice out. In the fall, that's my favorite season to ride in anyway. Summers are great, but I like riding in the fall when I'm wearing a leather and bundled up. A little crispness, wake you up in the morning. If you take it out in the morning, you're good to go. It's my favorite season to ride in, so looking for one of these. I don't know if I'll be back anymore tonight. I'm going to mess around with the wiring. I'm not going to do a video on the wiring. It's 2 wires from the battery up, or 2 wires to the fuse panel and then to the cigarette lighter. I don't know how I'm doing that yet, but that's universal, and I guarantee there's a million videos out there, so I don't need to add to that. But maybe we'll be back tomorrow, and if not, it'll be a new video. Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. I'm getting close to that 2,000 mark. I don't really pay attention that much to the follower side, but I just looked today and it was close to that 2,000. I'd like to break that. Help me out. We'll catch you guys on the next one.